Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Vande Guru Nishanthan Ishan Ishavatarakan Tat Prakasham Satat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakam Advaita Acharya Nityananda Srinivasa Gadadhara Murari Damodar Hari Dasa Arayata Chaitanya Krishnera Bhakta Gana Bhakti Bhave Shirodhari Sabara Charana Nityananda Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayine Kalau Kalmashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaham Sarvavatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tanhara Dvitiya Deha Shri Balaram Ekai Swarupa Donha Binamatra Kaya Adya Kaya Vyuha Krishna Lilera Sahaya Shri Krishna Navadvipe Shri Chaitanya Chandra Sai Balaram Sange Shri Nityananda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining on this holy day of Shri Nityananda Trayodashi Maha Mahotsav. So it's a very, very important festival. And as per Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur, these two festivals, Shri Gaur Purnima and Shri Nityananda Trayodashi, or the appearance, the divine appearance of Shri Lord Nityananda, is very, very special for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So I was thinking what to read, what to do, and I came across this wonderful article by what the name of the author of this article. But this is a journey to Ekachakra Dhaam, and we know Ekachakra is the birthplace or the appearance place of Sri Nityananda Mahaprabhu. So we'll read through this article and we will try to see some pictures also. So it's kind of like a virtual visit to Ekachakra and help us to remember Lord Nityananda and his holy places. So what could be a better thing to do on this holy day? So that being said, I'll start, and those who would like to read can also take turns and read. Okay. Ekachakra Dhaam is located in Chandrapur district, Birhum, 165 kilometers northwest of Sri Mayapur Dham. Without the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda, one cannot enter into the affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna. Ekachakra means, Eka means one and Chakra means wheel. The place is named Ekachakra because this is the place where the chariot wheel fell, which Lord Shri Krishna took to kill Bhishma Dev on the battle of Kurukshetra. Ekachakra is the birthplace of Lord Nityananda or Nitai, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shri Krishna himself thus inaugurated his Harinam Sankirtan movement from the Dwapar Yuga itself. Just to give the context here, this Madananda also shared this in the morning Bhagavatam class, that when Bhishma and Arjuna were fighting in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, so Duryodhana challenged, hey Bhishma, you're not paying your 100%, you're not focusing well, you have a lot of favoritism towards Pandavas. And then finally Bhishma made a vow, these are the 5 arrows, tomorrow 5 Pandavas will be gone. And then finally, you know that story that Krishna told Arjuna to ask those 5 arrows back from Duryodhana. And who else could have in this world got to know about this than the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And Bhishma got to know that it must be Krishna. So he said, okay, tomorrow I will make Krishna break his own promise, right? Because he's trying to protect, but so basically this is the transcendental rasa. In short, Bhishma was fighting like anything, and Arjuna was losing grounds. Finally, Krishna got angry and then basically took a broken chariot wheel, chakra or chariot wheel in this situation, and ran towards Bhishma. And Arjuna is trying to hold Krishna to not break his promise. So that beautiful scene is also depicted in one of the ISKCON paintings. So that chakra which Krishna held came to this place later, and that's how this name Ekachakra comes. Okay. So where is it located? 165 kilometers northwest. And once you're going to Mayapur, you can certainly plan to go by car or bus. Extends both north and south of an area of 8 miles. This is a devotee writing this in an article after their visit and sharing some pictures also. Other villages, namely Veerachandrapura, Veerachandra, and Veerabhadrapura, are situated within the area of the Ekachakras. So Veerabhadra basically was the son of Lord Nityananda. There's a big festival here on Nityananda Trayodashi, the Appearance Day, which is actually today, and also on Gosht Ashtami. This is a beautiful form of Lord Nityananda in the ISKCON Mayapur temple. Okay, so let's see who wants to read this section. Anyone would like to read? Maybe one or two paragraphs, and we'll see.
Prabhu, I can read.
Please.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Lord Nityananda, Lord Sri Krishna, as the Vedic literature ultimately explains, is the absolute personality of Godhead, and his first expansion in a form for pastimes is Sri Balaram. In the age of Kali Yuga, Lord Krishna appears in this material world as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appears as Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda, also known as Nityananda Prabhu, Nitai, Nityananda Balaram, appeared as Lord Chaitanya's principal associate for spreading the chanting of the holy names of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In Harinam Sankirtan, or the congregational chanting of the Lord's holy names, and to bring the mercy of Lord Krishna to all the fallen materially conditioned souls. Lord Nityananda was born to a pious Brahmana family. His father was Hadai Pandit and mother Padmavati. He appeared in Ekachakra around 20 years before the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On Shukla Trayodashi, in the month of Magh, in the year 1473, 12th February, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot be approached or understood without the mercy of Lord Nityananda. He is the cardinal guru of all the universes and serves as an intermediary between Mahaprabhu and his devotees. A great Vaishnava Acharya, Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur, the dearmost and the last initiated disciple of Lord Nityananda, glorify his master in Chaitanya Bhagavat as follows. Lord Nityananda is very effulgent, like the brilliant sun. He is the status quo, like his master, with the whitish complexion of Lord Balaram. His garments resemble a cluster of blue lotus flowers, and his effulgence is said to surpass the grandeur of rising moon at sunset. Should I stop here, Prabhu? Someone else can.
Sure, Prabhuji. see. Okay, yeah. So I think this is quite straightforward, and we spent considerable time yesterday also discussing about Lord Nityananda. So maybe we'll read these points. Someone can read these points, and then we'll move to other. Try to read the whole article today. Yes, Sudhir Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandat Pranam, our best to Srila Prabhupada. He has a deep, melodious voice, constantly chanting the holy name and singing the glories of Lord Krishna day and night. He is unequaled in the three worlds, not different from Lord Chaitanya, absorbed within himself. He often roared loudly like a lion, for he is the direct manifestation of Lord Balarama. His beautiful glowing face easily defeats 1,000 shining full moons. A captivating smile plays sweetly on his exquisite lips. So white and radiant are his teeth that if a pearl were held next to them, the pearl would look like a faded and discarded piece of glass. His long, languid eyes steal the pinkish tinge of the early rising sun. His arms are long and reach down to his knees, and he possesses a robust chest and broad shoulders. His lotus feet are soft. His gait is grateful. He speaks to everyone with kind words, which sever the bonds of material attachments within everyone's heart. He carries a red stick with benedictions for the devotees, but feared by the demonic. He has the carefree mood of a wild avadhuta. So absorbed is he in the love of God that no one knows what he will do next. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for such beautiful description of Lord Nityananda. They said that he comes in as a devotee. It's called Avaduta. It's like transcendental, wild Avaduta. His activities are not understood by common men. Like he would go, so Maharaj was explaining that he would go sometimes to the wild alligators and sit behind their back. He would sometimes go and, beat up small boys. He would sometimes go and say to young girl, "Oh, will you marry me?" and they would run after Haridas Thakur. They would run after, like even Jagai Madai's story. So, like that, today, so many wonderful descriptions are there. So this is Nityananda Janamsthan. So we're virtually trying. So just imagine the bus has reached. This is a very Ekachakra Dhaam entrance. So our virtual bus, it's a temple there. Shri Gaura. Shri Gaura Nitai. Ekachakra Dhaam entrance. Devotees are carrying the beautiful Gaura Nitai on their heads. Along with Gaura Nitai, set out for Ekachakra. So these are the deities. Such beautiful deities raising their arms high and showering blessings to all of us, to each and every one. Lord Nitai on the left. Left means Nitai on the left, like as if you're seeing here on the right, but technically, if you're seeing from their view, Nitai is always on the right side of Gauranga, being an elder brother. So this is the temple. Garbhavasa or Sutika Mandir. So let's read. Someone wants to read this section. Anyone who didn't get a chance, you can read these few lines.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Dandavat Pranam. Can I read?
Please.
Garbhabhasa or Shutika Mandir. This white temple is the exact spot where Lord Nityananda appeared. In Janmasthan Mandir, there is a deity of Nitai Nityananda. Hadai Pandita Bhavan is the site of the original house of Nityananda's father. There are two banyan trees by this temple that are said to have existed since the time of Nityananda. In the center of the main altar of the temple is a deity of Lord Nityananda. To his left, with his hands raised, is Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On Nityananda's right is Sri Advaita Acharya. The side of altar has deities of Sri Radha Kanta and Sri Radha Shrikanta, a large dancing Gauranga in the center and 10 brass sakhis at the bottom. The temple was constructed by Prasanna Kumar Karafarma. So Prabhuji, actually my in-laws' house is 1 hour from Ekachakra Gram. To be able to got the chance to visit Ekachakra Gram, and we also visited the temple and that white temple where Nityananda has born. We have visited that.
Wow,
It was very nice. It was very nice experience.
that's wonderful. That's amazing. Thank you. So these are the deity pictures from there. So Nityananda Prabhu in the center, Gauranga Mahaprabhu to the left, and with Acharya to the right here. And the bird spot. The Sutika Mandir or the Garbhavasa. Surrounded by, I think, banyan trees. You see the banyan trees though. Okay. This is Hadai Pandit's house. Hadai Pandit was the father. Hadai Pandit and Padmavati, the mother. So let's see the next part. Would someone want to read this few lines here? Next part.
I can propose. Hadai Pandit's house, Nitai Kundo. This is the pond besides Lord Nityananda's house. Dhotis, plates, utensils, etc. of Nitai were washed. Embedded in its core and not visible to material eyes is another kundo named Ananga Kundo. The pujaris of the temple use water from this kundo for the deity worship.
This is that sacred Nitai Kunda, where Lord Nityananda's dhotis, plates, utensils, etc. were washed. So divine, right? So we can still go to these holy places. It's not some mythological story. And Ananga Kunda, so we know the Nitai serves as Ananga Manjari in the Madhurya Rasa, serves in all the 5 rasas. And even in Radha Kunda, there are some 2 inner kundas, right? Anyone remembers the name? There are
Kankan Kunda.
Kankana.
Yeah, Kankan is because it was excavated by their Kankan. They broke their blessed Kankan, and that's what its name, Kankan.
Yeah, ornaments, Kankana. In Hindi, I think they say Kangana, same thing. So very nice. So let's move on to our next spot. Who wants to read this section? Avani, Vedai, anyone? Yeah, please unmute. I can't see who all are present. So if anyone wants to read.
Can I read?
Yeah. Yes, Ravi Prabhu or anyone from your family wants to read, please.
Yes, Prabhuji, I can read. Hare Krishna devotee, Dandavat Pranam. Malak Tala. In the courtyard of Lord Nityananda's house is an old peepal tree called Maltal, just before Nitai departed with the unknown sannyasi. Hadai Pandit came here and chanted jap under this tree. Mal means japa beads and Tala means tree. When Nitai was about to depart, Hadai Pandit left his japa beads here due to anxiety. Lord Chaitanya came to Ekachakra many years after Lord Nityananda left. It is said that at that time Lord Chaitanya left his flower garland on a branch of this tree. Mala also means garland, or mala also means garland. Therefore, also for this reason, this tree was called Mala Tala. Hari Bol.
This is the people tree, I believe. Oh, this is something else, sorry. Maybe the picture is not here. Of Malatal. Japamala. So it's a very nice point that 500 years back also this chanting is not a new process. Lord Chaitanya personally inaugurated this Sankirtana movement. So even Hadai Pandit was also doing japa mala, japa on his japa beads. And this story we discussed yesterday. At about 12 years of when Nityananda Prabhu was 12 years, then this sannyasi, somewhere it's mentioned it was Lakshmipati Tirtha who came and asked Hadai Pandit, I am traveling sannyasi, I need some help. And Hadai Pandit said, okay, what can we help you with? Said, can I get assistant? I need some assistant. And your son, Nitai, I want to take him. As if Madanananda was explaining this morning that a thunderbolt would have been less painful, right, than asking for Nitai, Nityananda, who was his life and soul for Hadai Pandit and Padmavati. And very soon after that, of course, they consulted and they could not say no. So Nitai left with the sannyasi, and very soon Hadai Pandit in separation gave up his body. So these are the mala thala connected to the japa or the mala, and also connected to the flower garland, which also is called mala. Let's see what this place is. Who would read next? Yes, Lakshay.
Hare Krishna. Hantugada or Janukunda. It is said that Nitai brought all the sacred waters from all the holy places to this kunda to save the local residents from having to journey to the Ganges to take a sacred bath. It's named Hantugada because Nitai used to perform the Dadi Chitta festival of distributing chipped rice with yogurt prasada here, and he would take the prasada while kneeling down. This lake is always full of water throughout the year. A great fair is held there during Goshtastami, and there is another big fair on Lord Nityananda Trayodashi, the appearance day of Lord Nityananda. How to get there? Yeah. You get here by walking east out of the village past the birthplace. It is a small kunda surrounded by grass and lone tree which hangs over the water. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, thank you. So we have reached to Hantugada, also known as Janu Kunda. Januva, or Janavi is the name of, who knows?
Nityananda's wife.
That's
Ganga.
correct, yeah. But in this connection, they're talking about the Ganga Devi. Because anyone remembers the story where Krishna also did something similar? What's that pastime?
Shamkund. He brought-
Shamkund or Manasi Ganga, right? He brought the Manasi Ganga from his father was going to holy places, right?
Yes, bro.
So we see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the holy places are subservient. So they want to serve the Lord. And the Lord, can any one of us do that? No. Therefore, we are Jiva. And the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Chiradahi festival, that's another very important festival. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami. So we can mentally, this is basically not different from the sacred Ganges and the holy places. So at least we can mentally take bath by offering pranams and mentally taking bath in this holy Janu Kunda, also known as Hantugada. On this holy day of this devotee is taking baths. So a holy dip at the auspicious place. The center of pond is a submerged temple. Wow, so do you see this? I think they're referring to the submerged temple. So maybe we need to go underwater swimming to figure out which deities are there in this temple. Just kidding. But at least mentally we can. So now we're moving to the next spot. Is everyone ready? So let's see what's the next spot. Who's going to read this? Yes, Avni?
Hare Krishna. Devotees walking towards Pandavatal. This is a 5-minute walk, 400 meters into the fields southeast of Lord Nityananda's birthplace. The Pandavas lived here with their mother, Kunti, where they were exiled to the forest.
Thank you. So basically, about 5,000 years back, Pandavas came here. Where here means Ekachakra, right? It's all near Ekachakra, 100 meters, 500 meters. We're all referring to the same place. So Pandavas with Mata Kunti, they stayed here. And there are multiple stories, if you remember, that I think that will come, the Bakasura story, why Lord Nityananda wears one kundala or one earring. All those stories certainly happened in these places where Pandavas were living at that time, and with Mata Kunti. And they were exiled for 12 years to forest. Okay, now we're into the next spot. Devotees reaching Pandavatala. So I'll just read that. Area surrounded by Keli Kadamba trees. Looks like they're referring to these trees, the Keli Kadamba trees. Shri Vyasadev also visited this place with Kunti Devi and Pancha Pandavas. Kunti Devi and Pancha Pandavas stayed here for some time. So please come forward for the renovation. So when you go, if you want to help in renovation, I don't know what year this picture is, so maybe they are trying to renovate this place. Look at this beautiful picture of Vyasadev with the Pandavas. Prabhu, can you tell in Bengali who are these Pandavas? It looks like Vyasadev.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vedabhyash,
Bharat
Yudhishthir, Sahadev.
Yudhishthir,
Yudhishthir, yes. And then
Sahadev.
and his left, Sahadev, yes.
Sahadev. Nice. So it looks like there is one here and one behind. So all the 5 Pandavas surrounding. Okay, now let's read a new pastime. Who wants to read this? Has not yet got a chance. Yes, Natasha Mataji, want to read, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna all devotees, and Pranam. Bhima killing demon Bakasura. Shikhandabi. This is where Bakasura demon lived, who terrorized the people of Ekachakra for many years. Demon used to eat one human being from the local villages in the area of Ekachakra. The people set up a system where one person from a different family was sent to Bakasura each day. Queen Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas, requested Bhima, who had the strength of 10,000 elephants, to kill this demon. Bhima then killed this demon after a furious fight. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.13.3 to 4, there is a brief mention of killing of Bakasura demon by Bhima. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So looks like this is Bakasura and this Bhima. Fossil kneecap of Bakasura demon. Fossiled kneecap. The local pujari says that if the fossil comes in contact with fire, it produces a very bad smell. Maybe it's a demoniac. So you see, this is still preserved 5,000 years back. Let's see Kundaltala. This is not in the picture, but let's see how this Kundaltala. So just to give a little more detail here on this pastime. So the Pandavas were living with this family of Brahmanas, and every day one person, the scheme was arranged that rather than the demon Bakasura coming and terrorizing the whole village, every family would send one person on a cart, and the cart would be full of a lot of foodstuffs, and the Bakasur would eat all the foods plus the person also, and that will be the last day of their life. And finally, one day, I forgot the name of the lady where Pandavas were staying. That wife and the mother was sad. The mother Kunti could realize, what's going on? You look so sad. She said, I have my only one son, and today and tomorrow it's his turn. They would rotate. That there's one family, so if there are, let's say, 100 families, so one person turn comes one time, and then after 100 days their turn will come. Or let's say there are 1,000 families, so if one day one is one family, day two is family two, day 1,000 family 1,000. So this was the day had come, and this family's turn was there, and then of course the mother would be sad because tomorrow will be the last day for my son, because this demon, no one comes back. Anyone who goes there is basically killed. So Mata Kunti said, well, you have done so much for us, and I have 5 children, and I'll send my child. Don't worry about it. They were not pretending as they were like great kings and very powerful beings. They were just pretending as ordinary people there. He said, no, how can we allow Atithi? You are our guest. How can you allow Atithi to be in danger? This is in Bakasur is so powerful. Kunti said, don't worry. Bhima will take care. And even if anything happens, I have 5 children, you have 1 child. How can we let your 1 child go? Even if my one child dies, I have 4 left, but you have only 1 child. So we can't allow that to happen. Finally, Bakasur. So Bhima is driving the cart, and there's a lot of food on the cart. So now you can imagine, all the food is gone by the time Bhima reaches Bakasura. Because he ate it. And then he killed the Bakasura also. Bakasura was very, very furious. So that's a sweet pastime of Bhima killing Bakasura. That also happened in Ekachakra. So let's read the next Kundaltala. Kundalaltala. Okay, who wants to read this? Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody. Kundalatala, the place where Lord Nityananda used his earring to block a snake in his hole, stopping him from disturbing the residents of this area. The snake was actually an arrow weapon given by Lord Shiva to Arjun. Arjun fired it to kill Bakasur in order to help Bhima, who left alone on that mission. By the time the weapon arrived on the spot, Bakasur was already dead, and therefore the snake weapon could not complete its mission. Since then, the snake remained in the area and would disturb the locals. When Lord Nityananda heard of this, he blocked the snake in its hole with one of his earrings, which magically expanded in size. When the snake asked Lord Nityananda how he would get his food, Lord Nityananda told him that a temple, told that a temple would be built here and people would regularly come and make offerings of milk and other things. This pastime is the reason why Lord Nityananda is seen with only one earring in pictures that depict his later pastimes. Thank you for watching. Back to you.
Very bold. Thank you. So I think these two are connected. So the killing of Bakasur is linked to that one earring pastime. So basically, the context is that when Arjuna got to know, oh, Bhima has left, and Bakasur is a strong demon, so he was not aware of this whole thing. And to protect his brother, Arjuna had. So by the time he was afraid that by the time he reaches there, the fight could already be going on, or the Bakasur could be trying to harm Bhima. He released the arrow because Arjuna was so powerful. His arrows were so powerful. Everything was so powerful that the arrow would, it will find its target. So he had released the arrow to kill Bakasur, but the Bakasur was already dead because Bhima is no ordinary person either. Now, so basically this transformed into a snake, and that snake would trouble others for up to almost 4,500 years between when Pandavas visited and when Lord Nityananda appeared. That's almost 4,500 years. So Lord Nityananda took his earring and blocked this hole as we are reading this. So picture is not shown, but that place is called Kundalatala. And sometimes you may see that in some pictures, Nityananda Prabhu has one earring. So this is the pastime, killing of Bakasur and Arjuna releasing the arrow given by Shiva, the snake arrow. Let's read this. Wow, Kunti is deep, quite big, huh? Shri Radha Krishna deities at Pandavatala. Oh, as well as Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj discussing Nithai's pastimes. What is this written, bro? Can you tell?
Nityananda Navikundastan.
Nityananda Navikunda.
Navikundastan.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's read. Who has not yet read this green part? Anyone has not got chance yet, wants to read? Okay, we'll take seconds, huh? Like we take prasadam seconds, we'll take seconds. Yes. Read, Prabhu, to read, and then Avni can.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Bokul Tala, His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami discussing Nithai's pastimes. Between the birthplace and Janukun is a Bokula tree where Lord Nityananda and his boyfriends used to take part in sporting activities known as Jhalo Japeta. This tree is wonderful because all its branches and sub-branches look like the hoods of serpents. It has been suggested that by the desire of Nitai, Anantadev manifested himself in that way. The tree is very old. It is said that formerly it had two trunks, but later on, when the playmates of Lord Nityananda felt inconvenience in jumping from the branches of one trunk to those of the other, Lord Nityananda, by his mercy, merged the two trunks into one. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, back to you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Maybe they're referring to this tree, I believe. The Bakula tree. The Lord would play here with his friends. So very, very special. Jhala Jhapata. What does that mean? Anyone knows? Jhapat means to capture, right? Jhala Jhapata. Jhapata, right? Jhapata is like to capture. Maybe they are sporting pastimes like wrestling or something similar. And the hoods, the tree branches represent the hoods of serpent, because Lord Nitai or Nanda, they manifested. So maybe this has a lot of like curvy branches, and Lord Nityananda merged these two trunks into one. Maybe they're referring here, right? How they got merged, because we see the mood of Lord Nityananda basically, to serve, right? When the playmates were getting disturbed, they were getting inconvenience in jumping from one branch to the other. So, okay, make it closer to serve his playmates. Again, Avaduta, transcendental pastimes. Okay, yes, Avani, you want to read next part? What's this?
Hare Krishna. Nari Nota or Amara Pitta, umbilical cord Samadhi. Nimai's umbilical cord was placed here by his parents, Shriman Hadai Pandita and Srimati Padmavati Devi. Haribol.
Maybe Natasha Mataji can tell better about this. Mataji, any thoughts? What do they do now these days? Maybe she, I think, left.
So Prabhuji, Nari means umbilical cord. And knot means the umbilical cord comes is a knot after cutting from the mothers, and so it's not. So and it's Amor pit. Amor means immortal place.
Right now, they just put in the trash, like these days in hospitals.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
medical waste.
Medical waste. But see, the Lord, everything is transcendental. So it's basically a holy place, right? It's a holy place. It's not anything connected to the Lord is transcendental. So here comes the next holy place, Padmavati Kunda. Okay, who will read this? Lakshay, Babu Prabhu? We'll go a little quick now so we can cover the whole.
Padmavati Kunda. It is named after Lord Nityananda's mother, Srimati Padmavati. Hadai Pandita received this as gift from his father-in-law, Mukutana Roy. Padmavati would come here and bathe little Nitai every day. This kunda is behind Lord Nityananda's temple.
Thank you. So Padmavati was the mother of Lord Nityananda. And it looks like it was a kind of a private, like these days we have private pools. So maybe it was like it belonged to the father of Padmavati. So the father gave to Dai Pandit as a gift.
Oh, there is a nice pastime about that. I was just listening.
Yeah, please.
So Mukut Narayan, he was the Padmavati's father. You know, at that time, the child must be get married by the age of 10. So she was not getting married. So her mother was very anxious. And she was always blaming Mukut Narayan that why the daughter is not getting married, what you are doing. So one day he said, okay, tomorrow morning, whoever I see first, I'm going to give my daughter to her. So in that, Harai Pandit, actually, he was actually kind of like a doctor, village doctor, Oja. So he was going to some places, and he came to that place. Actually, he was washing himself, and Mukut Narayan came and saw him, and then he said, okay, I'm going to give you my daughter, and I'm going to give you the whole pond with that. So that I heard from His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj about that.
Wonderful. Thank you. So maybe it must be like a big gang or something in that area, having a pond. Anyone has a pond belonging to them? Not talking about the mini pool, like a pond. It looks like it's quite big from even now. So, okay, let's move on to the devotees relaxing. So mentally, you can take bath in the sacred water, Padmavati Kunda. I'm just seeing how much more is there, so we can quickly. Okay, not a lot of pictures, so it's in the last main reading section. So I think you should be able to cover. Bake Rai Temple. The priest of the temple described that the Lord Nityananda entered within the body of Bankim Rai and departed for his unmanifest pastimes. So he basically entered the deity of Bankim Rai. Or Baka means, bended. In Vrindavan, there's a temple called Bake Bihari. Or so Baka means Tribhanga, basically. His body stayed up. He's threefold bended form, but he's beautiful. The deity of Janava Mata was therefore later placed on the right of Bankim Rai. Let's read about this pastime. Who would like to read from here?
I can read.
Can I read, Prabhuji? Sorry, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Mataji.
This temple was built under the direction of Birabhadra Goshai, the son of Lord Nityananda. On the altar of this temple is Lord Krishna as Bankimaraya, who was originally established by Lord Nityananda. On his left is Srimati Radharani, and on his right is Jannava Devi. It is said that Lord Nityananda left this planet by entering into this deity. After Lord Nityananda's disappearance, the deity of Janava was placed to the right of Bankimarai. On another throne to the right of Bankimarai is a deity of Yogamaya. In this temple, there is also an altar with a deity of Muralidhar. It is said that this deity was given to Padmavati Devi by the sannyasi Nitai went on pilgrimage with when he was 12. On the same altar are deities of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. To the right of the altar, outside the gate, is another little temple dedicated to Madan Mohana Krishna. On his left is his consort, Srimati Radharani, and on his right is the Gopi Chandravali. On the right side is Sri Sri Radha Brindavan Chandra. These deities are supposed to have been worshipped for 13 generations and are over 450 years old. To the right of the altar outside the gate is another little temple dedicated to Madan Mohana Krishna. On his left is his consort Srimati Radharani, and on his right is the Gopi Chandravali. On the right side is Sri Sri Radha Brindavan Chandra. These deities are supposed to have been worshipped for 13 generations and are over 450 years old. No, it's written same. After Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri, he ordered Lord Nityananda to return to Bengal and preach. At this time, Nityananda returned to Ekachakra after being gone for almost 30 years. By this time, his parent had already left this world. He then found the deity of Bankimarai in the Yamuna at Kadambakhandi. He installed this deity in a temple. Later, a deity of Srimati Radharani was discovered in Bhaddapur, in the locality of Virachandrapur, underneath the roots of a neem tree about half-mile west. This deity was installed to the right of Bankimarai. For this reason, the Radharani of Bankimarai was known as Bhaddapurera Thakurani, the mistress of Bhaddapur.
Thank you. So many transcendental pastimes connected to this Bankimarai temple. Thank you, Mataji, for reading this. Yes, whether you want to read this section?
Hare Krishna, of course, Srila Prabhupada. About 15 years back, some construction workers were restoring the outer structure of this temple. During the work break, they were smoking. Suddenly, a very small, beautifully effulgent boy appeared before them. He started beating fiercely with a stick, chastising them not to smoke at this most auspicious sight. Construction workers were shocked by this. Simultaneously, their hearts melted to see the beautiful face of this young boy. They vowed that they'll never smoke again for the rest of their life. It is said that this most beautiful effulgent boy was none other than Nitai, Lord Nityananda. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Isn't that beautiful? The Lord is always present, even giving his darshan to the even not so pious people who are like smoking, whatever, bidi, cigarette, whatever. So this temple is referring to which temple? Just read this, Bankirai or Bankimrai temple. They must be doing some restoration work, and the construction workers experience this. And these are all the deities which we just read about. Shad Bhuj Gauranga, six-handed form. Shad means six, Bhuja means arms. Okay. Kadamba Khandi, who wants to read this? 1 second. Yes, bro.
Kadambakhandi. The small temple of Kadambakhandi marks the spot where Lord Nityananda recovered the Bankimaraya deity from the Yamuna river, which is also called as Maudeswara river. Kardam means clay and Khandi means ghata. In the rear of the temple is a small river, the Yamuna. It is said that the deity of Bankimaraya was floating in the water and Lord Nityananda picked him up and then installed him in the temple. Thereafter, in the place known as Bhaddapura, in the village of Virachandrapura, about half a mile west, in a place underneath a neem tree, deity of Srimati Radharani was found. For this reason, the Radharani of Bankimaraya was also known as Bhadda Purera Thakurani, the mistress of Bhaddapura. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sweet pastimes connected all to Lord Nityananda and Bankim Rai. Just to understand, this is the six-handed form. In his two hands, shared by the yellow, the Lord comes in yellow, blue is flute, I believe. Yeah, he's holding a flute. In his green, representing Lord Ram, holding bow and arrow. And the yellow or golden is holding the sannyasi staff and the kamandala. Lord Chaitanya. So referring to the Shadbhuj Gauranga, the six-handed form. Shri Shri Krishna Balram and Shri Shri Gaura Nityananda. So Krishna Balram, the bottom, dark. Krishna Balram and Gaura Nityananda. And beautiful. At Kadamba Khandi. River Yamuna. What's the special thing about this river Yamuna here? We just read. Just read. Yes, Vedi?
Was this the one where Nityananda Prabhu found the deity floating?
Yes, that's correct. He recovered the Banki Rai deity. Marks the spot, Kadamba Khani. Ghat. In India, you must be famous. The Ghat Khandi in North India, Ghat, you may have heard a lot. Ghat basically like a bathing area. So this is Khandi basically also means Ghat. You see, this Ghat means there is like a steps to get into the water for bathing, etc. So we can mentally take bath in this Kadamba Khandi or River Yamuna. Not different from Yamuna River at Shri Dhaam, Vrindavan. So basically, Lord manifested over there. Looks like devotees are taking their dips. Okay, last place. I think we're almost towards the end. There's a few more. Who will read this?
Can I read?
Yes, Nityananda Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Pranam. Maureshwara Shiva. This is an ancient Shiva temple where Hadai Pandit, the father of Lord Nityananda, would do his worship. When Lord Nityananda appeared in Ekachakra, this deity roared so loudly that Advaita Acharya and other devotees could hear and understand the roar's meaning at that distant residence in Mayapur and Santipur that Avadut has appeared on this planet. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You see, the deity roared so loudly. Isn't that amazing? The deities are not just piece of stone. They are person. And it's fields. This is like a general picture of the fields at Ekachakra. This is His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj giving katha actually. Transcendentalist. That's what they have. So this is His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. I'm sure there are a lot of lectures. Ekachakra Dhaam devotees having Kirtan. Anitaik Padakamala Koti Chandra Shushitala. So we can prostrate ourselves. Lotus feet. We must take shelter. Lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, the original spiritual master. And it is by his mercy only we can obtain the love of Krishna. We discuss about Ekachakra. Okay. So this was our quick virtual yatra. I hope you relished it on this holy day of Sri Nityananda Trayodashi, the appearance of Lord Nityananda. So we mentally took hearing, about these places gives same benefit actually. Of course, that does not mean we should not attempt to go. We should certainly attempt to go so that we can have better absorption, and then yes, we'll be able to relate better. But still, even hearing and reading gives a lot of benefit. So let's pray to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, so we can firmly be situated in the path of bhakti and chant nicely and be a proper recipient, and also try our best to share, because that's the mood of Lord Nityananda, that's the mood of Prabhupada. to not just receive, but to share also what we have received. And that's a goal of life. Chant Hare Krishna, be happy and share with others. Happy Nityananda Trayodashi to you and to all your dear ones. Shritan Prabhu ki jai, Shritan Trayodashi Mahamotsav ki jai, Shritan Trayodashi Mahamotsav ki jai, Shritan Trayodashi Mahamotsav ki jai, Ekachakra Dhaam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Hari Bol, Hari Krishna.